Hi everyone, it's me Olivia. Welcome back to my channel. This is my 2025 TBR. Okay, quick disclaimer. If you hear any music that isn't the music that I input into this video, or you hear some like bass boosting, it's because my mom's blasting music in the room below me. So it could do one of two things, or both. Mess up the audio and give me a copyright strike. So we're gonna hope that the power of editing can just like remove all that, okay? In 2024, I had a reading goal of 30 books and I did complete it, but not without struggle, okay? I didn't read a lot of books for leisure last year. A lot of books were for a short story class, and I was reading up until the last 45 minutes of 2024 to finish my reading goal. This year, I want to finish my physical TBR. I want to at least get most of them done. I say finish, but like the chances of that are slim. So I want to finish some of them. But other than these physical books, I'm going to be reading digital books like on my Kindle, on my Libby app, and on my MacBook. For those who don't know, the Libby app is basically an app where if you have a library card from a local library, you can sign in using your library card and you can get access to your library's digital copies of books if they have a book. I've been using that for like audiobooks specifically. I'm currently listening to Matthew Perry's memoir on there. It's perfect if you don't want to spend money. And also because I'm going to Korea for 4 months, the last thing that I want is to lug around physical books in my luggage. So I'm giving myself a maximum of 2 books that I'm going to bring abroad that are physical, and all the other ones are going to be on the other 3 mediums that I mentioned, like Kindle, Libby app, or MacBook. We're gonna try not to spend money this year on books because we have way too many, and you can find some really good like free books or like EPUBs of books. So yeah, I don't see a reason in spending money on books when I've already spent hundreds of dollars and have read almost none. All right, so let's start with the first book. The first book is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, and this book basically follows 4 college classmates, broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition as they move to New York in search of fame and fortune. This follows Willem, JB, Malcolm, and Jude. All of them are friends. All of them have different life paths that they want to follow. One's a painter, one's an actor. I'm only on page like 55, so all I know really about these people are like their backgrounds and their current jobs and their current ambitions and the things they want to pursue. I've seen this book everywhere on Book Talk, and my sister actually got it for me for my birthday, so thank you, Bella. I already know something that happens in this book that's rather sad, and I'm preparing myself for it because the thing is, a book can be sad, but I always get so deep into a book and like really develop like a connection with these characters where I feel like attached to a character, and then something happens and I'm like sobbing for days. So I know this book is gonna kill me. I also have to say I have a hard time like sticking to one book at a time, if that makes sense. So like I'm reading A Little Life right now, but I'm also listening to Matthew Perry's memoir. I'm also reading on my Kindle Resting Scrooge Face, which is like a Christmas romance. I can read a physical book, but I'm probably going to read digital ones as well, simply because I'm not going to lug this book everywhere with me. This is probably just going to be like an at-home read when I'm out places where I'm like reading. Like today I was at the doctor's, right? In their waiting room, I'm reading Resting Scrooge Face. I'm not bringing this with me. Second book is Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. This book I picked up coming back from New York last year. No, not last year because it's 2025. It's 2023, July. I had read like 100 pages on that like hour-and-a-half plane ride back, but I need to finish it because what's the point of me buying it if I'm not going to read it? This book basically follows, I believe the names are Alice, Felix, Eileen, and Simon. So at the back of the book it says, Alice, a novelist, meets Felix, who works in a warehouse, and asks him if he'd like to travel to Rome with her. Why can't I speak today? In Dublin, her best friend Eileen is getting over a breakup and slips back into flirting with Simon, a man she has known since childhood. Alice, Felix, Eileen, and Simon are still young, but life is catching up with them. They desire each other, they delude each other, they get together, they break apart, they worry about their friendships and the world they live in. Are they standing in the last lighted room before the darkness bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world? I don't remember anything, so I'm gonna have to restart this book, but everyone like loves this book. I've heard people rant and rave about it on TikTok. Hopefully it lives up to the standard and the expectations that I've been set. The next book I picked up because it was recommended to me by a coworker, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up, and then just never did. And I also saw it on TikTok, again, everywhere, because that's where I get my, book recommendations. It's The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelis. I think I'm saying his last name right. And this book basically follows a woman named Alicia Berenson who kills her husband, shoots him dead, and then takes a vow of silence. And there's this criminal psychotherapist, Theo Faber, who basically wants to get her talking to find her motive. And this book was released so long ago. So long ago, by that I mean like 5 years ago, and I'm late to the bandwagon. Normal People, Sally Rooney. People have very mixed feelings about this book. I don't know. I also started reading it. I was like 20 pages in, and I just have a really hard time with the format of this book. There's no quotations. It's just literal he said, she said. Like, someone will say something and it's like he said, but it's not quotations, right? So I have a very hard time understanding this book, but that could also just be because I haven't spent enough time with this book. I've heard it's really good. Some people say it's sad. Some people say it's underwhelming. We're gonna see for ourselves, okay? So this book follows Connell and Marianne. They grew up in the same small town, but the similarities end there. At school, Connell is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Normal People is the story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love. It takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond, in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find that they can't. I'm stumbling over my words so much today. Forgive me. Again, people say it's sad, some people say it's really good. We're gonna figure it out and I will let you know. Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Wow, that was probably the whitest way you could probably say his name. I apologize. This, I actually started reading again. I just have a hard time finishing books, but this one we're gonna finish. So I'm currently editing the video and I noticed that there are some books that are missing that I had recorded, but the camera just lost the footage. So you might see me a few times throughout the video just updating you on the books that are supposed to be on my TBR if I find that they are missed. So the first book that I found that was missed is The Maid by Nita Prose. This book follows a girl named Molly Gray. She's 25, was heavily reliant on her grandmother who has now passed away, and she has to navigate the world without her. In doing so, she takes up the job of being a maid and stumbles across a suite. The suite of a man named Charles Black, who she finds dead in that suite. So this book is a murder mystery. Basically, it's Molly Gray trying to piece together who killed Charles Black. Cool. Next is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've heard so much about this book, okay? And every single person I've seen on Book Talk, they've said that they loved it. Like, they've recommended it till no end, and they say that it's just a fantastic book. It follows an overworked book publicist with a perfectly planned future. She hits a snag when she falls in love with her temporary roommate, only to discover he lives 7 years in the past. Sometimes the worst day of your life happens and you have to figure out how to live after it. We've got the Lightlark series by Alex Astor. I have been seeing this book on TikTok for so long now. Alex Astor came out saying that she's going to release 2 more books of the series this year, and so I thought, why not get started? And Fourth Wing got me into fantasy, so I was like, sure. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears to host the Centennial, a deadly game that only the rulers of 6 realms are invited to play. I know nothing else about this book. So the series is Lightlark, Nightbane, and Skyshade. I'm gonna try and read them when I get to them. I found another book, so here we are again. This is actually my most anticipated book of 2025. I've been waiting for this book since I read Iron Flame. It is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I absolutely loved Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I read them both in a week, and I pre-ordered Onyx Storm as soon as I could. And that is coming out at the end of this month, so I'm so excited for that. Onyx Storm basically follows a girl named Violet Sorrengail who trains her entire life to be a scribe like her father, but then is forced to be a dragon rider by her mother. It's definitely going to be probably one of my top books this year because I loved Fourth Wing and Iron Flame that much, but I have so many good books on my lineup this year that I'm sure there will be close seconds. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This one also broke the internet, okay? Whenever it came out, TikTok was... So this book is a forbidden romance between a powerful prince and an ordinary girl as they try to survive their kingdom's grueling laws, pitting them against each other. That is such a slay. Okay, so we've got Wild Love by Elsie Silver as the next book that I want to read in my TBR. Billionaire Ford Grant ditches the city to set up a recording studio in the small town of Rose Hill where he spent his childhood summers. Then there's Reckless by Elsie Silver. Winter is an ER doc who realizes that she's married a douchebag who is a complete predator to her little sister. Ugh. Struggling with those ramifications and wanting to rebuild the relationship with her sister, she sets out to her house where she has a run-in with the up-and-coming bull rider, Theo. Oh. Then there's Heartless by Elsie Silver. A rancher and a nanny and plenty of sparks in between. Working as a nanny for the world's grumpiest single dad should be simple, except she can't keep her eyes off him and she can't keep his hands off her. Flawless by Elsie Silver. Summer Hamilton has just graduated law school and her father has hired her as a sports agent, and her first job will be to babysit her teenage crush, bull rider, Rhett Easton. What's with the bull riders? Then there's Hysteria by Jessica Gross. This book follows a young woman, and the summary says, a young woman an hour into yet another alcohol-fueled, masochistic, sexual bender at her local bar. There is a new bartender working this time, one she hasn't seen before, and who can properly make a drink. Paradise Rot by Jenny Haval is a trippy sensory overload taking place in a rotting Garden of Eden. Joe, a 20-year-old Norwegian studying abroad in Australia, moves in with an eccentric older girl, Carol, who lives in a renovated old brewery. All these TikTok books. Okay, this next one I'm very excited for because I've seen it for like a couple of years, just never like read it. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This woman is kept in a cage underground with 39 other females, guarded by armed men who never speak. Her crimes unremembered. Okay. That one I have a feeling I'm really gonna like. I like the concept of that. I think that's really cool. Next one is Open Water by Caleb Azama Nelson. This one follows two black artists from similar backgrounds. He's a photographer, she's a dancer. They find themselves moving beyond the parameters of their friendship into the deeper, open waters of an emotionally intense and intimate relationship as they become lovers. Oh wait, that's so cute. We've got a lot of romances going on this year. We've got so many. Next are two Abby Jimenez books, okay, because I already know that these books are gonna be good because of the reactions. Like, there's not a bad thing said about these books on TikTok. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is a book that follows a man named Justin. Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. Where have I heard about this before? When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan, they'll date each other and break up. I feel like I read a short story about this just recently. The next book is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It's set in the same world as Part of Your World. So I guess I need to read that one too. Two emergency room doctors who, after a bevy of wrong first impressions, become each other's safe place at a time in their lives when they're both feeling adrift and alone. Aww. So I guess I have to add Part of Your World then. The last book is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This book follows the story of a woman chained to the memory of one horrifying night and the man whose love is key to her freedom. It is the story of a silent man who lives with an excruciating wound and the woman who helps him find his voice. Alright everyone, those are the books that I have on my TBR for this year. Am I gonna get to all of them? Yes. Yes, I am. Alright, I'm gonna get back to reading A Little Life. I'm gonna update my pages on Goodreads, so feel free to follow me on there if you want to see my progress throughout the book. But also, feel free to follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok and my YouTube. Subscribe on here, because we've got some really exciting content coming out in February, but also March, April, May, and June with me being abroad. I'm planning on doing vlogs. I'm doing a move-in vlog and a travel vlog and a packing video. There's so many things that I want to do for my study abroad, and so if you're subscribed and you click that notification bell, you will be one of the first people to know when a video has been uploaded. I also ask questions here and there on my community section on my channel, so if you want to answer a few questions or just like let me know what you want to see or tell me the books that you want to read, there is your chance. Okay? Let me know what you set for your reading goal, because I feel like 30 is a good amount for me, but I have friends who have like 115 books on the reading goal, and I'm like, how do you have that much time? Thank you guys so much for watching. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to pick up reading again, and stay tuned for so many fun videos. I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. And yeah, thank you guys for watching again. I feel like I said that 4 times, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye!